how are you? So today's video, I'm going to talk to you about some chew toys that do not involve any wood at all. I know a lot of you have been really concerned about my previous video having wood beads in the chew toys. I can assure you that they were 100% safe, but I also understand erring on the side of caution, and of course, we all have those things, whatever it is, that we're just like, you know, I just don't feel comfortable with that, so I'm not going to do it. And that's okay. As such, we are going to be making some with no wood. And this was a little bit of a challenge for me because I had to really think a little outside my usual box. But I think you're going to like what we came up with. And I think you're going to find them easy to follow. I think you're going to be able to find all the supplies pretty easily. So stay tuned.
So first, the tools. We have pliers, my hand drill, and wire cutters, penne pasta, glow-in-the-dark plastic beads. These are paper straws. It's a 50 count box. This is cork roll. It is not the kind with the sticky back. Avoid that kind. This is just plain cork. And then these are paper baking cups, not the shiny or waxy ones. Next, we've got lots of pipe cleaners. And of course, lanyard hooks. This pack came from Amazon and I have not even made it halfway through. And then a bunch of regular corks that a neighbor gave me. And lastly, some scissors. So here I am just prepping the paper straws. I decided to start by cutting them in half. And I'm not sure why it took me so long to get them out of the package and cut them. I did seem to want a certain number of colors, if I remember correctly. I think I pulled out like 4 or 5 of each color. Okay, so for the first toy, you need pipe cleaners, paper straws, 1 bead, penne noodles, and a lanyard hook. And I started by cutting the straws in half. I cut all of them. I'm not going to use all of them for this particular toy, but I cut all of them in half to start with. And then I used this little hand drill to punch a hole through the paper straws. You could probably use some other sharp, pointy object. And I used the bead to put on the end of the pipe cleaner so that the stuff wouldn't fall off. And then I started threading my straws onto the pipe cleaner. And so we're just going to continue making holes in all of the straws and threading them onto the pipe cleaner. So I'm putting them on the string and then adding the penne pasta and a lanyard hook. And then this toy is completed. Okay, next we're going to need a pipe cleaner, paper straws, baking cups, penne pasta, and a plastic bead. So here's a spoiler alert. You're going to put a bead at the end of pretty much every pipe cleaner in this whole series of videos. That's just how I ended the bottom to prevent them from coming apart. And I started with a piece of pasta and then I punched holes in the little straws again. And I'm just continuing that for them. And so I strung a few on and then I put a piece of pasta and I string a few more. And then I did this. In hindsight, I made this harder for myself. I don't really know why I thought it would be a good idea to take them off. And then I was like, that was dumb. Why didn't I just punch a hole through each one in the stack? That was so much smarter because punching a hole through an individual paper baking cup is a pain in the butt. So I put a bunch of those on. And I can say my rats actually have really enjoyed this toy. It is shredded. There are no more paper baking cups on it. So it was definitely a hit with my rats. I'm continuing to add the paper straws and the pasta, and then I finished up with another lanyard hook. Okay, for this toy, you're going to need paper baking cups, a pipe cleaner, plastic bead, and a lanyard hook. And we're going to start, like I said, bead on the bottom and twist it so it closes up the pipe cleaner. And it looks like we're just going to add a ton of these little paper baking cups back and forth with the openings touching each other. And then we're going to add a lanyard hook. Super easy. You could make so many of these with all the little paper baking cups. All right, for this one we need baking cups, pasta, pipe cleaner, and lanyard hook, and we're going to use a bead as well. Now this one I used both colors of the paper baking cups. So there's these cute little black with white polka dot ones. And we're gonna start with our pipe cleaner. Oh no, this one does not have the bead. This is one I made into a ring. So I've put pasta and then baking cups, and I'm putting a piece of pasta in between the baking cups to make it more fun to figure out, and they can really shred it. And I put them in a sort of pattern because that's how my brain works. I just can't do abstract stuff. It just doesn't compute with me. And then I was going to try to put one more piece of pasta, but I just didn't position these right. I could have changed it a little to do that, but I didn't bother. And then I just twisted the loop together and added the lanyard hook. Voila. Okay, next we are going to use pipe cleaners, baking cups, pasta, the plastic bead, paper straws, and corks. We're up in our game. So I'm punching holes in a bunch of the paper straws first. And this took a little while. Honestly, this is the part that took the longest out of all of these. If you pre-punch them, it definitely makes the process a lot faster. And then honestly, you could do this with kids and it would be so fun to just let them go to town. So for some of these, I punched holes in both the middle and in both sides. And then I punched the little ends so that they were not smushed. And I used my little tool to pull them apart a bit. And so I'm continuing that process, punching holes in the ends and in the middle of several of these. I had a sort of idea in my head. This one was my like really big toy. And with a little bit of different materials, I probably could have made this look better, but the rats had so much fun with it. It was a hit, and that's really what matters. So I think there's roughly, let's see if I can count these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think there's 12 of these pieces of paper straws. So first we started with the pipe cleaner had a bead on the bottom. I'm certain of that. And I was threading this and I grabbed all kinds of things and I put the paper cups on the bottom and then I put the straw with the holes on the ends and middle next. Then we did the cork. And my first cork was not a problem at all. I had more trouble with this cork. These are like, I don't know, rubbery or something. And the pipe cleaner just really wasn't happy with them. I wound up switching to a different cork instead. And that worked a little better. So if you have trouble with your corks, just try a different one. Then I put more paper straws. These are the ones with just the hole in the middle though. Then I added 4 of the baking cups with the openings touching each other again and a lanyard hook at the top, and that just kind of closed off the whole string. And next what we're going to do is we're going to use some smaller pipe cleaners, the beads, and the straws with the holes on the end. And we are going to thread them in an A-B-A-B pattern. And that should give you 3 straws and 2 beads, if I have that pattern correct. I don't know. And we're going to put that through the hole on the end of that straw at the bottom of the toy. And what I was kind of thinking here was of those bird toys that have like all the things attached to them in various places. That was my inspiration. Sometimes the rats just really enjoy when you change things up a little bit. And so that was where I was going with this, was changing the direction, making the texture different. My pipe cleaners were a bit long, so I cut them a little bit with my side cutters. And then I just twisted the little ends so that they weren't pointing out. For this toy, we are going to need cork roll, paper straws, pipe cleaner, plastic beads, and a lanyard hook. The cork roll is, like I said in the beginning, the kind that does not have a sticky back. Sorry, I've got something in my throat today. I don't know what's going on, but next I cut a small bit off with my dollar store rotary cutter. And I noticed when I flipped it over, it had this stamped on it. I don't know what that was from, I guess with the brand name. So I just cut that off and discarded it. It might have been safe to use, but I just didn't risk it. It was such a small section of the whole roll, it wasn't worth it. And then I cut the strips into 1.5 inch pieces, roughly. It doesn't have to be perfect. And in fact, you'll see when I stack it that it is not perfect at all. This was just me doing the best I could. It was very curly, so that made it a little tricky to get it really, really straight. See, look at that. That piece is not as thick as the one that was underneath it. All right, then I cut those into 2-inch strips. And I got about 3 out of each piece. And then I made a stack once I finished cutting this. If I ever finish cutting this, it seems like I've been cutting this forever. What in the world? So much cork. I did use all of it though, between these 2 videos. So that's good, I guess. And the rats did enjoy this as well. They actually shredded these before the regular corks. So next I'm using an awl, which I didn't have in the intro, but you could use the little hand drill thing, and I'm just pushing it through a stack of them in the middle. I think I stacked 3 or 4 at a time, whatever you're comfortable with, and just punched a hole roughly in the middle. It's not perfect. The rats don't care. They will enjoy it anyway. And then I put out a bunch of beads, put a bead on the end, and then I started with the cork, and I decided to put paper straws on this. I actually started this toy and took it apart, and then was like, nope, don't like it, so I redid it. So next I am cutting the paper straws, and here's where I got the brilliant idea to cut them into smaller pieces and use them as beads. I don't know why I didn't think of this until like just now in this video, but it was so handy, and I probably could have done that on the ends of all of these instead of using the plastic beads, but I didn't think about it until just this point in making toys. And so we're just doing a bead of paper and a cork, and then a bead of paper and then a cork, all the way to the top. This toy has now got no cork pieces left. It is just 1 cork, and maybe not even that. I haven't checked it in a little bit, and they love it. All right, next, a pipe cleaner, plastic bead, corks, paper straws, cork roll, and a lanyard hook. So we're using basically the same things. We're cutting the straws small again, trying to prevent them from flying across my desk, which was very difficult. So we did the bead on the end, we did the paper straw, and then I'm also using regular cork, I guess. Did I put that in the list? I don't feel like I did. Okay, so I had a lot of trouble with this cork, and then I realized that my pipe cleaner had come untwisted. It was just like split at the top, so I retwisted it, and that didn't really help, so I re-drilled the little hole, and I did it from both sides a few times, and that solved the problem. It did take a little longer, but it fixed it, and then I was able to use the cork eventually. I then cut the end off, and now it goes through, yay! So, more cork, nope. Decided to use a teeny little paper bead. Look how tiny that cute little thing is. Those little paper straws are so versatile. You could make all kinds of little toys with them. Definitely recommend. It was like $5 at Kroger. Best investment. And let's end the video with the rats enjoying the toys to some music. Here's a little montage.
hope this video was helpful for you. I would love it if you comment and let me know what specifically was helpful, if you had a favorite chew toy, any questions about the supplies, where to get them, suggestions for other sorts of things. Leave that all in the comments. That just is really great. I love the engagement from you all. It's been really fun lately, and it's just making my day seeing comments come in. So yeah, if you wouldn't mind commenting, I'd love that. Thanks for watching. Bye.